we really enjoy originality. And you don't see that as often, and it hasn't been done very often with the 195. So this is very important for us to put it back the way we really enjoy it and be able to share it with everybody, and seeing people light up when they realize this is what they remember back in the day when they were new. That's fantastic to see. And it's really fun to bring it up here and get judged. And a lot of the judges really appreciate that as well, because originality is what the goal is.
AOPA keeps flying safe, accessible, and fun by protecting your freedom to fly. We are the most trusted one-stop resource for all things related to general aviation. Become an AOPA pilot today.
Typically the judges have the same enthusiasm for old original stuff as I do. And that's what it's all about for me is, hey, look at this. You won't believe, look at that. That's brand new from 1948, look at that. And they get as excited as we are. When they'll get down and look underneath and at this and that, that's exciting to me, because that's exactly how I am with other airplanes that I see that have originality efforts put into them.
My name is Steve Johnson, and I reside here in the wonderful state of Wisconsin. I've been judging here for a few years. I have my A&P and my IA. I'm also a certified flight instructor. Been in the aviation business for the last 35 years.
I'm Marla Simon Boone. I have been coming to Oshkosh since 1980. I am a CFI, A&P, IA. Been involved in aviation for many years, have restored many airplanes. The first thing on our judging list is general appearance. And when I was taught to judge many years ago, they said, stop 20 feet from the airplane and just look at it. How does it look 20 feet away? And obviously it looks great. I mean, it's beautiful, it's shiny. And this is our first impression of the airplane. So we look at it, it looks good. And then we can delve into it. Sometimes even from here, you can discern like dents in the leading edge or paint chips, something like that. But this is our first impression of this airplane. And obviously quite nice. It's amazing how many owners do not realize that cleanliness counts in judging. So I'll crawl under the airplane, check for leaks, check for dirt. And so that's the first thing I do. I check for overspray on the tires. All these things that are underneath the airplane while I'm under here. I check for dirt here. Oftentimes, depending on the airplane, you get a great vision of the rear of the engine from here for cleanliness. It's a radial engine, so of course it leaks, so we don't deduct for that. But just general cleanliness. This airplane wants to be judged as a original. So that's what we're looking for. What did it look like when it left the factory? So we are going to look at that. The next thing on our list is the cockpit. You rarely have to get into an airplane. I frequently do if it's a tricycle gear and I can get in there and get under the dash, look at the wiring, look at the firewall, and I try to be as comprehensive as I can. Obviously, we're looking at the upholstery, the headliner, and it is, of course, fabulous. It's just, the panel is beautiful, the upholstery is great, neatly done, it matches, tracks are clean. It just looks fabulous. And then when we get to do the engine, I frequently will ask the owner to uncowl it as much as he can. We've already done the main gear. I'm going to go look at the tail wheel, and while I'm back there, I'll take a look at the tail surfaces, the vertical fin, the horizontal. Nice tail wheel boot, very, very nice. While I'm here, I just check the underside for dents while I'm on the ground. All right, that side looks great. And I'm just checking for any defects here in the leading edge of the horizontal. This segue looks no dents. Next on the list is fuselage. So I just do a walk around essentially. Checking for hail damage. This doesn't apply, but any fairings that might not fit. Cracked windows, discolored windows. And it just looks great. The last thing is wings and tail. We already checked the leading edge of the horizontal. And I hesitate to touch a polished airplane because you have no idea how much work that is. But especially in a polished airplane, dents would be evident, hail damage would be evident, any panels that didn't add up, any bad rivets, any rivets that obviously aren't something that would have come from the factories, i.e. a repair. Hangars are dangerous places. Things get backed into post. I like to check the trailing edge as well, make sure that there's no dents. The next category is presentation book. And this is a little known gem. A good presentation book is worth 5 points to the judges. So we're going to go over here and check this one out. And this is so comprehensive. It tells the history of the 195 and just the data specific to this airplane, little facts that they would have. All but 2% was broken down and reworked. The Barons collected parts for a long year. They have photos of the original. In some cases, I'm sure these are photos from a Cessna ad campaign. They have photos of the original fabric. Original tires. And so this is a excellent presentation book. Here they have custom-made fabric to match the original fabric. That is how much they strove to make this airplane original, that they had fabric specifically woven for this. I believe when these airplanes were built, many of the parts were numbered, and I'm sure it's the original circuit breaker panel. On the control panel, there was no room for a decal, so the decal is on the throttle. Here the parts for the seats were all numbered 7098, and they have replicated that in building the airplane. So very, very original. So it's an excellent presentation book. And the last detail is the difficulty factor, which is another 5 points. And I can tell you, this was an enormously difficult aircraft to restore. The riveting, the polishing, finding parts. I think they used a lot of new old stock, meaning that it was manufactured but never used. So it had been sitting on a shelf, and I'm sure they accessed a great deal of that, all they could, to keep it original. So again, difficulty, yes, lots of riveting, lots of upholstery work, and that counts for 5 points too. When you're judging an airplane for originality, you do deduct points if, for instance, it doesn't have an authentic color scheme or an authentic stripe. We do not deduct for safety. So if you have changed to LED lights, that's not a deduction, that's a safety issue. We would judge it in the categories that we just outlined, in the divisions that we outlined: poor, fair, good, very good, excellent. And then the minus points for anything that isn't really original, isn't how it came out of the factory. You end up with a total score, and then you see how you did. We start with 100 points, minus the deductions, obviously, and that gives you your net score. And that is the score in which you are ranked for judging.